Joseph's full life story, according to the Bible. Introduction. Once upon a time in the ancient land of Canaan there lived a young lad named Joseph. His story, as documented in the Bible, is nothing short of extraordinary. From being a mere shepherd boy to becoming a prominent figure in the mighty Pharaoh's court, Joseph's journey is filled with twists and turns that will surely leave you in awe. So let's delve into this epic tale and uncover the remarkable events that shaped Joseph's life. Joseph's childhood was far from ordinary. Growing up in a big family with 11 other siblings, he often found himself entangled in sibling rivalries and envy. But little did he know that these struggles were just stepping stones to something greater. With his dreams and visions of grandeur, Joseph set out on a path that destiny had laid before him. One of the most iconic elements of Joseph's story is his famed Technicolor dreamcoat. Yes, you heard it right. Joseph was not only a dreamer but a fashionista as well. Who knew a coat with vibrant colors could change someone's life forever? Trust me, it's not your average fashion statement. Now let's talk about the infamous pit incident. Picture this: Joseph's jealous brothers throwing him into a pit and selling him off as a slave. Talk about sibling love, huh? But fret not, dear readers, for this unfortunate turn of events is just the catalyst to launch Joseph into a life he never could have imagined. Fast forward a bit and we find Joseph in the land of pyramids and Pharaoh's teed Egypt. As luck would have it, or perhaps fate, he ends up being a slave in Potiphar's household. This is where the real adventure begins. From managing the household affairs to dodging the advances of Potiphar's wife, Joseph proves to be not only a capable slave but also a true survivor. But wait, there's more. Through a series of events and divine interventions, Joseph finds himself rising through the ranks of power in the Pharaoh's palace. Talk about a Cinderella story with an Egyptian twist. From interpreting dreams to implementing strategic economic policies, Joseph's journey to the top is filled with excitement and intrigue. In conclusion, Joseph's life story is a testament to the power of dreams, resilience, and a little bit of divine intervention. From humble beginnings to ruling over a powerful kingdom, Joseph's journey is an inspiration for us all. So buckle up, dear readers, as we embark on this remarkable adventure filled with miracles, jealous siblings, and a Technicolor dreamcoat. It's going to be quite a ride. Joseph's childhood struggles. Joseph's childhood struggles. Joseph, the son of Jacob and Rachel, had a pretty rough start in life. First of all, let's talk about his fancy Technicolor dreamcoat that his dad gave him. Yeah, it may have looked cool, but it definitely didn't earn him any popularity points with his brothers. In fact, they hated his guts, and who can blame them? I mean, who wants to hang out with someone flaunting their fashionable threads all the time? But Joseph's issues with his brothers didn't stop there. Oh no, it got worse. One day, when he was just a young lad, he had a dream, a really grandiose dream where his brothers bowed down to him. Of course, being the tactful guy he was, he decided to share this dream with his siblings, and surprise, surprise, they weren't too thrilled about it. I can't imagine why. Now, I don't know about you, but if you have brothers, you'll know that sharing dreams about their future subservience is probably not the best way to win their trust and love. But hey, Joseph wasn't exactly known for his impeccable decision-making skills. So what did these jealous brothers do? Well, they hatched a brilliant plan to get rid of Joseph once and for all. They threw him into a pit and then sold him off as a slave to some passing traders. Talk about family love. And just like that, Joseph's childhood struggles started. From being the favorite son to becoming a slave, life took a major U-turn for him. But little did Joseph know that this was only the beginning of his roller coaster adventure. His story was just getting started, with even more twists and turns awaiting him in Egypt. Stay tuned to find out what happens next in Joseph's thrilling journey from pit to the palace. Joseph's Technicolor dreamcoat. Ah, Joseph, the man of many colors. No, I'm not talking about an eccentric artist who loved experimenting with different paints and patterns. I'm talking about Joseph, the biblical character who became famous for his snazzy coat. You know, the one that made him the envy of his brothers and sparked an avalanche of jealousy. Let's dive into Joseph's Technicolor dreamcoat story, shall we? Joseph's father, Jacob, obviously had a flair for fashion because he presented his beloved son with a coat made of many colors. Imagine strutting around in a vibrant garment while your siblings settled for the usual drab robes. Talk about making a fashion statement. But this stylish coat wasn't just about looking good. It held a deeper meaning. It symbolized Jacob's favoritism towards Joseph, which of course didn't go down well with his brothers. I mean, who wouldn't be a little miffed if their sibling waltzed around in a fabulous coat while they slaved away in the fields? Joseph's Technicolor dreamcoat served as a constant reminder to his brothers that he was the apple of their father's eye. And let's be honest, it must have been a pretty flashy reminder. You can almost imagine Joseph strutting his stuff, his coat billowing behind him like a supermodel on a catwalk. Now that's what I call sibling rivalry. Little did Joseph know that his eye-catching outfit would lead him on an extraordinary journey filled with ups and downs. From being thrown into a pit by his jealous brothers to ending up as a slave in Egypt. But don't worry, our boy Joseph is nothing if not resilient, and he'll soon make his way to the top. So remember folks, it's not just about the fashion choices we make, it's about what they represent and the impact they have on those around us. And let's face it, wearing a Technicolor dreamcoat might be a little too bold for most of us. But hey, at least we can all learn a thing or two about sibling dynamics and the consequences of flaunting our closets full of fabulous clothing. Stay tuned as we delve into the next chapter of Joseph's tumultuous life. Trust me, it only gets more intriguing from here. Next up, Joseph and the pit incident. But let's not spoil too much just yet. Joseph and the pit incident. Once upon a time in the land of Canaan, there lived Joseph, a young lad with dreams as vast as the universe itself. Little did he know that his journey would be filled with more ups and downs than a roller coaster ride. In his early years, Joseph faced his fair share of struggles. Being a favorite among his father's children didn't bode well with his siblings, who let jealousy consume them like a swarm of locusts. They despised dear Joseph to such an extent that they thought throwing him into a pit would somehow solve their issues. Sibling rivalry at its finest. But our protagonist was far from done. He was plucked out of the pit by Ishmaelite traders and sold into slavery in Egypt. Talk about a change in scenery. From a simple shepherd boy to a slave in a foreign land, Joseph's life took an unexpected turn. It's like going from luxury hotels to sleeping on a bed of rocks in the blink of an eye. Quite the adjustment, wouldn't you say? As luck or divine intervention would have it, Joseph found himself in the service of Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh. With his knack for management and unwavering integrity, Joseph rose through the ranks like a shooting star. He became the master of Potiphar's house, and boy did he manage it with style and grace. It's safe to say he had the Midas touch. But Joseph's destiny had bigger plans for him. Soon his abilities caught the eye of none other than Pharaoh himself. From a lowly slave he ascended to the grand palace, ruling over Egypt with wisdom and wit. Who needs a reality TV show when you can have a real-life rags-to-riches story like Joseph's? In a world where dreams had the power to dictate the course of one's life, Joseph's Technicolor dreamcoat played a key role. It symbolized the triumph of hope over despair and proved that even in the darkest of times, dreams can light the way. And so, dear readers, Joseph's journey continues, filled with twists and turns that will leave you on the edge of your seat. Will his dreams come true? Will his past struggles become a distant memory? Only time will tell. Stay tuned for the next chapter of Joseph's extraordinary life. Joseph becomes a slave in Egypt. All right, folks, buckle up. We are about to dive into the thrilling chapter where our very own Joseph makes a dramatic entrance into the land of pyramids and mummies. So sit back, relax, and get ready to meet the enslaved version of the one who rocked that dreamy Technicolor coat. With a heavy heart, Joseph finds himself torn away from his beloved family and thrown into the deep end of a whole new world, Egypt. Talk about culture shock. Poor guy probably didn't even have time to pack his sunscreen. Now, as you may have guessed, being a slave is no cakewalk. Joseph is thrust into a life of hard labor and servitude, thanks to some shady business by his own brothers. Sibling love at its finest. But guess what? Even in the dark depths of slavery, our boy Joseph doesn't lose hope. He handles his new role with grace. Well, as much grace as one can muster when scrubbing floors and running errands for the master. Through sheer determination and resilience, Joseph catches the eye of his master, Potiphar. Now, this isn't just any casual admiration. Potiphar is thoroughly impressed by Joseph's management skills and soon promotes him to head honcho of his entire household. From scrubbing toilets to ruling the roost, Joseph's journey takes an unexpected turn. And that's where we'll leave it for now, my dear readers. Joseph's rise to power is just beginning, and oh boy, is it going to be a wild ride. I can almost hear the suspenseful background music playing. Stay tuned for the next chapter, folks, where Joseph's life takes a thrilling turn in Potiphar's house. Asterisk. 2 line breaks. Asterisk. Stay tuned to witness the undeniable charisma of our protagonist as he conquers the land of Egypt, one dream at a time. You won't want to miss it. Joseph in Potiphar's house. Joseph in Potiphar's house. Now, the poor guy landed himself in quite a pickle. After being sold as a slave in Egypt, Joseph found himself working for a wealthy Egyptian named Potiphar. Here's where things start to get interesting, folks. Potiphar's wife had quite the wandering eye and set her sights on Joseph. Now, let me remind you that Joseph was a pretty good-looking guy, so it's not surprising that he caught her attention. But Joseph, being the loyal and righteous guy that he was, resisted her advances. He knew that getting involved with the boss's wife could only lead to trouble. Well, let's just say that didn't sit too well with her. She accused Joseph of trying to seduce her, and things quickly went downhill. Poor Joseph found himself thrown into prison, all because he wanted to stay faithful and keep his distance. But hey, don't worry, it's not all doom and gloom for our friend Joseph. Even in prison, he managed to make a name for himself. The warden noticed his exceptional administrative skills and put him in charge of the other prisoners. Talk about a rise in the ranks, right? Joseph had a way of turning lemons into lemonade, or in this case, turning prison life into a managerial position. So there you have it. Joseph's stint in Potiphar's house may have been rocky, but it ultimately led to new opportunities in prison. Stay tuned to find out what other crazy adventures our buddy Joseph gets himself into next. Trust me, this guy's life is like a never-ending roller coaster ride. Buckle up, folks. Joseph's rise in the Pharaoh's palace. Joseph's rise in the Pharaoh's palace. After enduring a series of unfortunate events, Joseph found himself in an unexpected twist of fate, rising to prominence in the Pharaoh's palace. It all started with his uncanny ability to interpret dreams, which caught the attention of the Pharaoh himself. Apparently, the guy's dream game was on point. Without wasting any time, Joseph was summoned from the depths of his prison cell to stand before the mighty ruler. Now imagine being in Joseph's shoes at that moment. From being a lowly slave to literally standing in front of the most powerful man in all of Egypt. Talk about an upgrade. But wait, it gets better. Joseph not only interpreted the Pharaoh's dreams with precision, predicting 7 years of abundance followed by 7 years of famine. He also had the audacity to come up with a genius plan to save the entire country from starvation. Like seriously, who does that? Impressed by Joseph's wit, the Pharaoh decided to appoint him as the second in command, giving him full authority over the entire land of Egypt. In other words, Joseph went from being an imprisoned slave to becoming the Pharaoh's right-hand man. Not too shabby, huh? With his newfound power, Joseph efficiently managed the nation's resources during the prosperous years and tactfully implemented his plan during the harsh years of famine. The people were in awe of this foreigner who seemed to possess the wisdom of 10 Egyptian sages combined. And so Joseph's rise in the Pharaoh's palace marked the pinnacle of his journey. A journey filled with hardships, betrayals, and unexpected turns. But hey, who said life was meant to be predictable? Joseph's story is living proof that sometimes, against all odds, life can surprise us in the most extraordinary ways. Joseph M. from the pit to the palace. Quite the roller coaster ride, wouldn't you say? Conclusion. So we've finally reached the end of Joseph's epic journey. Let's wrap things up by summarizing the key points in his extraordinary life according to the Bible. From a troubled childhood to his colorful dream coat, Joseph had quite the roller coaster ride. He experienced betrayal, found himself in a daunting pit, and even became a slave in Egypt. But through determination and resilience, he managed to rise through adversity, eventually reaching Pharaoh's palace. Joseph's story reminds us that even in the darkest of times, anything is possible. And with that, we bid farewell to our remarkable protagonist, Joseph. And there you have it, the chronicles of Joseph's dramatic life condensed into a mere 50 words. It's astonishing how much ground we covered while still leaving room for a little wit and charm along the way. Remember, a personal touch and a sprinkle of sarcasm are always the best ingredients when it comes to engaging an audience. So let's move on to new adventures. Thank you for joining us on this exploration, the full life story. Joseph's story, according to the Bible. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, share, and hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell for more thought-provoking content. As always, feel free to leave your thoughts and questions in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious. Going